Coming up next, from San Fran Freak Show, the Savage Nation, from Talk 910 KNEW.
These guys are so hilarious. I almost drive up the road every morning.
Armstrong and Getty, weekday mornings 6 to 10. Talk 910 KNEW.
Warning. The Michael Savage Show contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation. Here is Michael Savage.
In Britain. You want to read the secret emails which will disclose how the British government colluded to destroy a man's name and reputation? One man against the government? Well, in May of this year, I was added to a list of murderers, terrorists, and others banned from entering the United Kingdom. My former Home Secretary of the UK, Jackie Smith. She's gone, but her list is still there. And her list was allegedly aimed at excluding people who stir up, justify or glorify terrorism, encourage others to participate in terrorist acts, etc. Even though one bureaucrat has been found in emails, one bureaucrat said this could be seen as duplicitous. Prime Minister Gordon Brown and the Foreign Minister both approved of this smear campaign against Michael Savage and have to this day refused to remove my name from this list of murderers and terrorists, even after these emails were uncovered through the Freedom of Information Act. And they are in my new book, Banned in Britain, which is going to be my answer to the British government and to my own nation, which has completely ignored this blatant assault on one man's free speech and liberties. This is a book for anyone who believes that no government should censor speech, nor use its power to intimidate people from speaking freely. And while it's a book where I voice many of my conservative opinions, it is a book not just for conservatives. Free speech itself is now at risk, because powerful forces do not want to be criticized. The Department of Homeland Security is issuing reports that intimidate opposing political speech. These reports associate conservatism with terrorism, the so-called fairness doctrine, or things even worse may be imposed in this nation in order to cripple conservative talk. The First Amendment is not being honored by this government. Free speech may become an endangered species in the Western world, even though the region was originally its native habitat. My new book, Banned in Britain, is for everyone who values free speech and freedom. True liberals as well as conservatives, whether it be Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, or Independents. Free speech is threatened by a government when a pattern of intimidation is pursued against political speech. Now, I lay out a strong analysis of how free speech in the U.S. is being threatened and how it will affect every American. And what is even more chilling in this mysterious saga is that there is every reason to believe that there's been collusion between someone in or associated with the United States government and the British Home Office. As the U.S. transfers power from the private sector to the public sector, as the Obama government gains more power to censor and intimidate, the planners and power brokers cannot afford to be criticized. The government and media are unable and unwilling to deal with truly independent speech. My book, Banned in Britain, tells the story of one of the world's most heated battles against free speech. I, Michael Savage, was the first victim, but others, maybe even you, may soon follow. Fighting back can work, and it must be done. This is a story about how I stood against an entire government, despite all odds, to free my name from a list of murderers and terrorists. Why? Simply for speaking passionately about borders, language, and our traditional culture. Read Banned in Britain. Go to michaelsavage.com. I want you to hear some of the things that have been said about my being banned in Britain over the past few months. Michael Fabricant is a member of the British Parliament. Here's what he said. The things of which Jackie Smith, accuses Mike Savage are also illegal in the United States of America, and Savage has not faced prosecution there. Does she realize how ludicrous her ban is, and the disrepute into which she has put this country in the eyes of many right-seeing and indeed left-seeing people in the United States? Remember, that's from a member of Parliament. Evgeny Morozov, Foreign Policy magazine, wrote this. A decision to ban Savage from entering the UK triggered more than a viral tide. It triggered a viral tsunami. Boris Johnson, journalist at London Telegraph. The ban against Savage just makes us look so infantile and so pathetic. John O'Sullivan, contributing editor for the New York Post and executive editor of Radio Free Europe. Listen to what he said. I would think that if the Home Secretary, official responsible for this, continues to fight that case, she would be humiliated in court. Because fundamentally, these leaked emails suggest bad faith on the part of the British government. As simple as that. That's from Radio Free Europe. Ed West, the Telegraph, says, Savage Gate is the latest example of the Labour government's refusal to recognize that the only real threat to our country is from Muslim terrorists. The ACLU said, while some of these people may express views that others find disagreeable, often the cure, i.e. the nation using their borders as a weapon of censorship, is worse than the disease. That's from the ACLU. You have to read this book, Banned in Britain. Now, maybe you've read Billy Budd, and you think it's just fiction. But let me tell you something. They'd like to hang me from the yard on. Only we don't live in the 17th century. In this century, they hang you electronically. And that is what was done to this man. I'm fighting back. I've written a book, Banned in Britain. It is up on michaelsavage.com. First printing, first edition. We're getting it ready for the printer. I highly recommend that if you bought any of my other books, you're going to want to buy the most important book that I've ever written. You can at least see the cover. You can see the table of contents. You can see an excerpt from the first chapter. And you can order the book on michaelsavage.com. Buy it for your friends. Buy it for yourself. Buy it for your parents. A new poll just came out from the Gallup poll, not known to be a particularly liberal poll. It says that conservatives now outnumber liberals in all 50 states. Now, that's the Gallup poll. It's not the Savage poll. Did you hear what I just said? Conservatives now outnumber liberals in all 50 states, says the Gallup poll. And yet, if you turn on the television channels, with the exception of one, you would think that the entire country consists of stoned hippies who hate America, who all want to live in Europe, and could not wait to put a college professor from the left into power. Even in Hawaii, Obama's home state, even in Hawaii, you hear this? Conservatives outnumber liberals by statistically significant margins in 47 of the 50 states, with conservatives and liberals statistically tied in Hawaii, Vermont, and Massachusetts. It's hard to believe. In Massachusetts, according to Gallup, 30% say they are conservative. 29% say they're liberal. In Vermont, 29% say they're conservative, 28% say they're liberal. Yet if you go to Vermont, you go to Massachusetts, you go to Hawaii, you go to California, all you hear is liberal tripe all day long. Tripe, garbage, lies. Because the media is 100%, 110%, 1,000% Bolshevik. In Hawaii even, you think it's a liberal state? 29% of Hawaiians polled say they are conservative, 24% say they're liberal. Can you believe this? There is only one state, it's a non-state really, which falls within the margin of error, in which liberals outnumber conservatives, and that's, of course, Washington, D.C., where 37% of the leeches say they were liberal. That's because those leeches work for the government. I'll be right back.
Savage.
Imagine discovering an opportunity that can completely rebuild your retirement fund by 40% over the next 2 years. Does it sound too good to be true? It's not if you take action today. Call my good friends, and I mean good friends, at Swiss America. Gold IRAs have averaged 20% per year growth since 2001. It's just common sense to roll over dead paper assets into gold, the best performing asset of the century. Then you can relax no matter what happens on Wall Street. Call now for a complete Gold 101 DVD and my free CD.
Call toll-free 888-867-8965. That's 888-867-8965.
For nearly a decade, I've told you to trust gold coins and Swiss America. Today, it's more urgent than ever. Get my CD, DVD, and new special report.
Call toll-free 888-867-8965. That's 888-867-8965.
Learn before you earn. Don't just imagine rebuilding your wealth. Do it now.
Call 888-867-8965 today.
I'm Kim Commando. You can keep up with all things digital Monday through Friday in the noon hour with My Digital Minute on Talk 910 KNEW.